So you think you're healthy, and I think you're healthy too physically. You're working out, you're eating right, you're paying attention to all that. Are you paying attention to your relationships? It turns out that the quality of your relationships has a direct impact on your health. It's as important and maybe even more important than anything else you do. So we are going to work together and have a diagnostic. Yes, Granny has a test for you, just like the tests they do in medical labs, only a Granny Ronna test. So you can figure out for yourself, are your relationships making you healthier? And if your relationships are not making you healthier, how can you do that? Ready? Let's rock. Let's talk about relationships and why they are so important to your health and to your well-being. This has been totally on my mind because I'm your granny and I want you to be happy. And I was around a lot of young people recently and looking at all the research. And if you're in your 20s, oh, maybe you're not surrounded by supportive relationships. And I want to tell you how to do it. By the end of this segment, I am going to give you reason why you need to have more relationships in your life, how to think about it, what to do right away. Granny created a test for you to take right now. You can either do it with paper and a pen that you can get now, or if you don't want to, if you go down to the description box, there's a PDF that you can print out right now and you can follow along with me. I really encourage you to stay to the end of this video because I'm going to talk you through what each of these things mean. The quiz itself is very simple and it will have more meaning and it will be something that spurs you to action more if we stay together. Okay? So if you downloaded it, give Granny a thumbs up or a kiss, whatever you want. So the first thing is there is now fancy U.S. Surgeon General information on loneliness. And whether you live in the U.S. or not, the Surgeon General, who is the top medical dude for America, said that the loneliness epidemic is as serious a risk to our health as obesity. These are the numbers connected to lacking social connection. If you don't have social connection, that means relationships. You have a 29% increased risk of heart disease. You have a 32, like almost 1/3 increased risk of stroke. You have a 50% increased risk of developing dementia. There is a 60% increased risk of death. So did I just scare the poop out of you? I hope I did, because I want to frighten you into action. And now I'm going to cuddle you and tell you what to do. I have a really great friend, Tim, and he has daughters in his 20s. And I was complimenting him on his girls are surrounded by relationships. And he said from the time they were little, he taught them that relationships are like gardens. You can't just say, I want a garden, go out one day, toss some seeds, leave it alone, forget about it. You have to cultivate it. You have to work on a garden. You have to get the seeds. You have to plant the seeds. You have to pull the weeds. You have to do all this stuff to take care of your plants or they won't grow and thrive. And you can't do it one day and say, I'm going to do it next week. And honestly, if you're rich enough to have gardeners to take care of your estate, you probably aren't watching this YouTube. But even then, even King Charles cultivates his own garden, because anything you cultivate, you give love to, and the love comes back. So my royal friends, time to cultivate our relationship garden. I am going to give you a tool, an exercise. I used to do a lot of exercises with groups when I was a fancy executive coach for the biggest corporations in America. And so I love exercises, and we're going to do them together. I need you to do this exercise to get something to write with. I don't care what it is. I like pen and paper because the act of writing works for me. You can do your notes somewhere else. I don't care. Here's what I want you to do is on the left hand side of a piece of paper is I want you to write down these categories of relationships. Partner. Actually, you can split it if you want to between business partner and romantic partner. Just make sure you have a category for partner, or maybe even 3 categories for partners. Primary partner, partner you lust after, business partner, I don't care. The next one is parent. If you have parents and they're separated, write down parents is just a unit, because we're not going to go too fine-grained here. The next one is friends. Write that down as a category. Remember, you're writing on the left side. Neighbors, whether you live in a house or an apartment building, neighbors as a category. Community, and with that one, you can have 2 categories. One, in real life community, your IRL community, and your virtual community, but no more than 2. Just write down community. On the next one, family members, and just write that down as a group, because a lot of us have one family member. It's like, ugh. All right. So you've got all your categories written down, right? Now I want you to go back, and we're going to go through the list again together. And I want you to take a moment and write down how you feel about the quality of those relationships on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being don't have a relationship, I don't feel good about it, just thinking about it makes me want to hurl, and 10 being, yeah, I'm working on that, my garden is growing and blossoming, let's go with that. So are you ready? All right, the first category was partner or partners. Write down 1 to 10. Think about those people, that person, 1 to 10. How do you feel about that relationship? Feeling good or feeling not so much? The second one, parents. Does my saying parents make you think I don't even want to rate that one? I know some of you are estranged from your parents. That's okay. 1 is the lowest number. You can't put a negative 10, or you can. I mean, I'm not going to grade your papers unless you send them in to me, but keep it at a 1 if you feel like your relationship with your parents just sucks. Friends, do that as a group. Do you have friends? I know my brother, I just lost my brother. And when he passed, he had 1 friend at his memorial service, 1. So friends, are you satisfied with the number? Are you satisfied with how close you feel to them as a group? How do you feel about your relationship with your friends? Neighbors, could you tell me the name of the person who lives closest to you? I'm not even asking for your last name. I'll give you a 2 if you even know their first name. Do you say hi to your neighbors? Are there any neighborhood things? Are there any parties for the floor in your building? Do you know your neighbors, and do they know you? How do you feel about them? You happy with where you are with your neighbors? Or do you just, if you live in an apartment building, see them and look at the floor? That would be a 1. Community member virtually. I have some communities where I feel very connected. I've been checking, I mentioned in a short, I'm doing Matthew McConaughey's road trip on Mastermind, and there's a Facebook community, and I really love that community. So do you have a community that fills you up, that nurtures you, or do you only have virtual communities that just suck your energy, and at the end you just get off with one more conspiracy theory? Not to be judgy, but hey. Then let's talk about your communities in real life. Do you belong to anything where the people know you and support you? Do you belong to a place of worship? Do you belong to a book club? What do you belong to? One of the things I've noticed is there's a great app called Meal Train. And when people get sick or they're having trouble, other people can sign up to bring them prepared meals so that there's always food in the house. And you can tell if there's a real life community by how many people sign up to bring food. I have a cousin who had a skiing accident. Thank goodness she's fine getting there, but big surgery. There was a meal train. I had to fight for a space on the meal train. But it got me thinking about, do I have a strong enough community that I would have a week's worth of meals for pop-ups? That's an in real life community, people who can and will show up for you because you're showing up for them. The next one is family members as a group. Think about your family. Do y'all ever get together? Do you do holidays together? Do you make it a point to go see them? Do you work to connect with them? Do you have, if it's what you can do, scheduled Zoom calls with them? Are you working at getting close with your family or not? And how is the quality of that relationship? I know people who just don't even, right? They don't want to talk to their family. They don't want to see their family. That's a 1. I also know people who have weekly family dinners. To me, weekly family dinner, that's a 10. Or brunch. I have brunch with you every week. I have Sunday brunch with Granny, which was very intentional because I want to be your family until and with your in real life family. Everybody needs family connection. Look at your numbers, add them all up. Look at each one. How do they look to you? Are you happy with the total you get? I gave you a lot of categories. So I want you to think about 10 times however many categories you have. Let's say you had 10. On a score of 1 to 100, is your total for all your relationships 9? That tells me you're really lonely. And that list I gave you of the health risk you're creating for your heart, for your body, for yourself is really high. The lower your relationship number, the higher your health risk. So is your total number 100 and you're at 80? I don't know. Do you want to shoot for a little higher? So this is where I had to really look in the mirror and say, where am I low? Because I'm a work in progress just like you are. That's why I never say I'm an expert, because expert sounds like somebody who thinks they have the answers. I don't have the answers. What I have is life, commitment to life, and commitment to learning and sharing learning with you. So I looked at my numbers, and you know which one was terrible? My in real life community. I actually haven't lived. I live in Durham in North Carolina. We've lived here less than 2 years. That's been my excuse, and the end of the pandemic and whatever. I don't have real people in my life. My number was really low. So my commitment to you is I'm going to commit to an hour a week in person with a community, not a friend. My friend number is really high, but in a community. And I will report back to you. Part of my learning in life is that I do better when I commit to activities in addition to goals. If I commit to a goal and I don't have an activity, it doesn't work. So my goal is I want to build a stronger relationship with my community. And my activity is I'm going to commit to 1 hour a week working on my relationship with my community. And I'm thinking about how I can do that. I can look at, is there a meetup I want to join? Is there something at the university I want to commit to? What are the communities that I have free and open access to that I want to join? And now here's a secret that you're not going to believe, but it's true. I'm an introvert. I am a deep introvert. I know I don't look like one, but I am. And I know a lot of you are too. And I'm telling you to go out there and you're thinking, oh, I want to stay home under my blanket. I want to stay home under my blanket too. I'm going to have to force myself to do this. And my rule for myself is I'm not going to ask you to do anything I won't do. That's my commitment to you is if I won't do it, I'm not going to ask you to do it, because that's hypocrisy and being a liar, which I definitely don't want. So my commitment to you is 1 hour a week working on my community relationship. Subscribe, and then you'll find out. Did I do it? Did I not? What kind of nonsense excuses can I come up with? You can call me out on my stuff. But remember, relationships are as important as vegetables. You're getting up, you're drinking your green drink alone, not enough. Go for relationships. I love you. I love you. I'll be your virtual relationship as long as you'll have me. Thank you. Bye.